A lot of high-growth companies with substantial profits end up in bankruptcy. And what gets them there is their lack of cash, because you need a significant amount of cash to sustain a company's growth. The fact is, for most companies, the more you grow, the more cash you need. This is because when you make a sale, you need to deliver a product or service which takes time, materials, labor, and other resources. As a result, the faster you grow, the easier it is to put yourself out of business. Case in point, take a company with $10 million in sales and $1 million in profit. But the company scrambles every day, robbing Peter to pay Paul because they have no cash. This is because the cash is sitting in accounts receivable, inventory, work in process, or incurred capital expenditures, etc. The problem gets worse because often the business owner and their team are not aware of their forthcoming cash deficit and have not had the foresight to bridge the cash deficit through adequate financing. The source of this problem is that most business owners don't understand the relationship between their company's growth and how much cash is actually needed to support that growth. So let me ask you, how fast can your company actually afford to grow before you go out of business? Can you grow 10, 20, 50% a year? What is that threshold that gets you on the precipice of bankruptcy, and how do you find out? This is where the concept of sustainable growth comes in. In simple words, a state of sustainable growth is where your business operates in a balanced zone in the sense that you generate precisely the right amount of cash to fund your working capital, capital expenditures, and taxes. This is the sweet spot state where you neither have a cash shortage nor a cash surplus, so you can grow as quickly as possible. So let's look at how to calculate the sustainable growth rate. Say a company has $500,000 in profits. It intends to give $200,000 in dividends to shareholders and reinvest the rest of the profits back into the company. The company's shareholder equity is $3 million. Step 1. Let's divide net income of $500,000 by shareholder equity of $3 million. This comes out to be 0.166 or 16.6%. This is called return on equity. Step 2. Let's divide the amount being taken out by the shareholders, i.e. dividends of $200,000, by the total earnings of the company of $500,000. This comes out to be 0.4 or 40%. This is called the dividend payout ratio. Now, let's apply the sustainable growth rate formula. Yep, it looks complicated, but hang in there. We've already done the work. It's actually quite simple. All we have to do is plug in the numbers. The return of equity is 0.166, which when multiplied by 1 minus the dividend payout ratio of 0.40, gives us a sustainable growth rate of 0.0996 or 9.96%. This basically means that this company can comfortably grow up to 9.96%, after which point, if its growth increases further, it will need to find additional sources of capital. Keep in mind that the sustainable growth rate formula has several limitations. It does not apply to all companies, and especially those with wide swings in expenses, so make sure to consult an expert. Let me ask you, what's your company's growth sweet spot? At what rate can your company afford to grow? Sit down with your team, pull your financial statements, and do a quick calculation. It may give you an entirely different view of how fast you can actually afford to grow without going bankrupt. Rare Brain Capital helps companies like yours improve performance and sell for maximum value. How ready is your company to grow or sell? Come see how you're doing. Get your free score and customized report in just a few minutes at no cost or obligation. Visit rarebrain.com/score.